When it comes to textile chemistry, what makes the innovation unique?
Okay, there is no water, so we use pure chemicals to do the treatment. And we actually have a chemical process that converts the monomers into polymers, which is different from what's used today. What's used today is we start with polymers and we use emulsifiers and surfactants to make these soluble in water. And then we drag the fabric through this soup and we dry it, which does a great job of removing the water, but leaves all the emulsifiers and surfactants and pH adjusting chemicals on the fabric. And of course, a little bit is also the desired polymer.
What makes it pure?
Well, we use pure chemical constituents, and none are hazardous chemicals. These are all monomers that are used for creating polymers. And because we work with the pure chemicals, instead of working with emulsified chemicals like you would have in water, we don't end up with these emulsified chemicals present on the fabric. Plus, 100% of the chemistry is applied to the fabric. There is no waste stream and there is no hazardous discharge.
How easy or hard is it, have you noticed, for mills to adopt this new technology?
It's been a challenge, and it's a challenge because it's a totally new approach. So wet finishing has been used for roughly 2,000 years. We've come along in the last 3 years with this. And dry finishing is consisting of either plasma, which there's 20 years of failure on that, or our technology, which has been successfully used now to make a commercial garment that you can buy at a retail level.
Does that mean that the mills have to dramatically rethink how they do their finishing process?
Well, actually, it's not that radical because we have a batch process that does the finishing, and the first instinct is that people say, well, I don't want a batch process, I want a continuous process. But it's a continuous batch. So you can run one batch and then you run another batch, and as the first batch is finishing, the second batch is starting, you get the same throughput. The economics work, we've proven that. It just requires a different change, a different way of thinking. And the benefit is we get away from these tenor frames or stentors. We have no waste stream, and you get a performance that is far beyond what is achievable with wet finishing.
What do you think needs to happen for your particular solution to get a breakthrough? Is there anything that you think needs to happen?
Well, I was involved in the semiconductor industry when the semiconductor industry switched from wet processing, which involved acids and water-based chemistry, to dry finishing. And that conversion happened over a period of about 10 years. And today, almost all processes are dry finished. And that changeover has resulted in enormous benefits for the semiconductor industry, things like smartphones and microcomputers and advanced circuitry that we have today are all possible with that. And I believe we can do the same in the textile industry once we get the early adopters on board, and once we get the consumers involved that recognize the advantage of a dry finish product compared to a wet finish product.
Given your experiences and expertise, what do you think needs to happen to ensure better water and chemical management in the industry as a whole?
You know, I look at what goes on in other industries, and we can learn from that, and we can improve what we do. So take the airline industry. The airline industry for a while was being plagued by problems with on-time performance. So planes were leaving late. There were flights that just never left on time. And they started doing ratings, performance rating. So the performance metric there was, does the flight leave on time? And that then becomes published and becomes knowledge that the consumer has at their fingertips for making an informed decision. I think we need that in the textile and apparel industry. We need to have ratings. We need to be able to provide a benchmark of what is the sustainability rating of this company or this brand, and how does that compare to all the others? And then the consumer who doesn't have that information today can make an informed decision, and the entire industry will improve.